Hello everyone, welcome to Kim's Cozy Corner. My name is Kim and y'all, I am at a community garden to help a friend of mine set up her first community garden. Yay! So the first thing I want to do is show you the teeny little plot that I'm going to try to put a ton of food in. All right, so here's our plot. I have no idea how big this really is, but our plot starts here. We go all the way over to the little tarp, and that's my Charlie running around over there. There's the corner, and then we come back to this side here. There is water available at the plot, so that's good. We don't have to tote in water, but we got to use native soil, so we'll be going into the ground today versus a raised bed. So I brought fertilizer, I brought gloves, and I think I brought everything we need. I have a ton of tomato plants here and some more right here. They all want to be put in the ground very badly. I got some Kozys and crops, peppers, cabbage. I have squash over here. We have everything we need except cucumbers, because y'all know I forgot the seeds, right? That's my fault. I forgot the seeds, but we will save room for the cucumbers. So we're going to just get to it, get it set up. I'll show you a couple pictures along the way, and I'll absolutely bring you back when we're done. All right, I got the team out here working. We've kind of laid out our plan. We got our plants everywhere where we want to put it. We're using native soil, so it's not as good as my fox farm, but we getting it in there. We're breaking it down. We're putting a little fertilizer in each of the holes, and then we're going to water it in. For our tomatoes, I'm always telling you to plant your tomato plants deep. And I got Miss Ty going real deep right here in this hole so that we can make sure we get that plant in there deep. And Miss Charlie is playing with rocks.
It's not rocks, it's dirt, Mom.
I'm sorry. Charlie says she's playing with dirt. The whole point of what I'm trying to show everyone by this video is that you don't need all of that stuff that I got at home. You don't need all the raised beds and the pots and the containers and the vertical towers. You can plant directly into the soil and you still can get a harvest. And that's what we're trying to show here with this plot this year. We're about to lose daylight, but I want to show you what we got done. We have tomatoes all along the outside border of our plot. We put in the last few items in before we completely lose daylight. The soil was quite compacted, so we had to work really hard to loosen the soil up. But we ended up with, what did I say, 30 tomato plants. Mm-hmm. And I think we have 6 pepper plants and we have 9 different types of squash. So that's how far we got today.
And now, don't forget the cabbage.
Oh, and the cabbage, yes. And we have cabbage growing in between the tomato plants. So the only thing we have left to do, y'all, is water. That's all we got left to do, to water in what we have. And if you notice, we didn't till the whole site. We only broke the ground up where we needed. There's no reason to till the whole area like that in places where I'm not going to have plants. We only need the soil to be loose where the plants are. So now we're going to water.
Oh,
What? Uh-oh.
Let's spread me. Hold on.
I want to get spread.
All right. You notice I just watered where I had the plants. That's the only place I watered in. And when I watered that plant in, I just soaked that plant. I just soaked it really good like that. And then I moved down to the next plant. That water will absorb and that plant will be good to go. So it's day 2 at the community garden, and we're going to now put in all of our seeds and cover it up with a little bit of straw, and you are here with us for day 2. So it's been a few days since we've been out to the community garden. Now, right after we planted, we came out every evening, gave everything a good watering because we got well up into the mid 80s. And then for the last 3 days, yeah, it's been about 5 days. For the last 2 days, we've gotten like 3 inches of rain. So the garden has had plenty of water while we've been away, but more and more weeds have started coming up in the areas where we don't plan on planting. And we're gonna just let that be for today, and we'll worry about that on another episode of the community garden. But I'm gonna turn around and show you where we are. We are 5 days in since we planted the tomatoes and the peppers in native soil. So here's a pile of tomatoes that we didn't use, and y'all look, they are still alive. And the only reason they're alive, we got 3 inches of rain over the last 2 days. But if we come around, the tomatoes really hasn't become one with the soil yet. The one thing that we didn't provide these tomatoes was Mykos, the mycorrhizer that I use in my garden. We didn't use those in here, but they will be fine. They will wake up. They will get happy very soon. It looks like we only lost one tomato plant out the bunch, so we'll replace that with that pile of tomatoes we have over there. The squash is looking good, if you can even see it in between the weeds there. Now it spread its legs and got happy fast, as have the peppers. So all 6 pepper plants are doing amazing, including that little baby one right there. It's still happy, even though it got drowned with the rain. So everything is doing pretty well. Even the little cabbage is surviving, and it doesn't have a lot of weed damage. The only one plant that we lost is this one right here, and probably because it already had fruit on it and we should have took the fruit off. But we're going to get started first by putting cages on our peppers. So this is what I used to use when I did dig in my native soil. Look at that. Look at that. That's all ready to go. We got to decide on our path here. Hopefully this hard soil holds up on us. I'm a little concerned. It's so hard. Y'all know every time I come out here, I'm fighting daylight, but we're out here and now we're planting the seeds. Let me show you some of the seeds I plan on planting out here with my friends today. We're gonna plant okra. Here's a picture of the type of okra that we're gonna plant. We're also going to plant some cucumbers. And since we don't have a lot of trellising, we're gonna do a bush cucumber, and we're gonna do pickle bush, which is the name of the cucumber. It's a type of pickling cucumber, but you can use it in salads, fresh eating, or you can can it and make pickles out of it. We're also going to do green beans. I have two different varieties of green beans. We're going to grow Landreth, which is a stringless green bean, and we're going to do Provider, which is another bean. But they're both bush beans. We don't want anything that's vining because we just don't have the trellising for it. So we're only doing bush beans, Landreth and Provider. We're also going to put some collards out here. We're going to grow Champion collard greens. Here's the picture of that. What else did I forget? Oh, we also are going to do the Space Master 80, which is another bush cucumber. The Space Master 80 is more of a salad cucumbers, so it's not really good for pickling, but it's amazing for fresh eating, and it's got a sweetness to it. And if I remember correctly, it had a small seed cavity to it. And we're going to do some basil because everybody needs a little basil in their life. And out here in the sun with no shade, the basil should be okay. But that'll be the one herb that we're going to put in the ground today. And if I can find a spot in this little space we're in, we're going to do a couple potatoes as well. And let's see how the potatoes will do in native soil that's not so happy right now. Okra is the first vegetable that we're going to put in that we're planting from seed. So instead of using 100% native soil, we kind of tilled up the area where we're going to put the okra seeds. We put just a little bit of potting mix on top of it. We're going to add a little bit of fertilizer. We're going to mix it in real good, and then we're going to plant our okra seeds about 6 inches apart in between our tomatoes along this back row. Just dust some on there. It'll be all right.
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right, we are going to do green beans. We're going to do our green beans, and we got collards. We got green beans and collards. So we have our fertilizer on top of our potting soil. And so I'm just going to give it a light mix. You see that right there? I'm not going deep. I didn't go deep at all. We did try to pull out some of the weeds in this space here. And now we're going to do 2 rows. Because okra, and I always say read the directions on the package, okra doesn't have to be planted that far apart. So we are going to do 2 rows. I'm going to show you how to do it, and I'll let you do the next group. So we're going to we'll start here. Put 1 there, and then we're going to put 1 there.
Oh, okay.
1 there. Give it a little more space. It's not an exact science, at least not the way we're doing it. It's going to be a lot of okra, though. I didn't bring my Squarefoot gardening tool with me, which tells you how close to plant your stuff. Yep, you don't want to mix it too deep.
Okay.
Because we want the okra to grow into this potting soil versus the native soil. We want it to first start growing into something happy. Just give it a little poke, and we'll cover it up. I think they're supposed to be planted 1 inch deep. So as a gardener, you don't have to know how long something really is. This is 6 inches here to here, close enough anyway.
Okay.
So anytime you're trying to do 6 inches, you can do like that, and you're at 6 inches.
You feel like what?
You know,
When
like,
I
hey. So from your thumb
Oh,
to your pinky,
got
that'll
you.
be your 6 inches.
Okay.
And then when you're trying to figure out depth,
Yes.
this first thing on your finger, pretend like that's 1 inch. The second one is 2 inches. So that's how we do it in the garden. And we're going to plant these 1 inch deep. We don't have to pat it down because the rain going to come get it. And then we'll do that all the way down. Look at Ty. Farmer Ty.
Say Farmer Ty. Hey.
So now we are working on where we're going to put like a row of 3 of green beans. Our green beans will be 3 inches apart when we put them in the ground, and only 3 inches apart. So we'll probably get 3 rows of beans along this line here where Miss Hannah is adding in some potting soil. Y'all know I probably got 300 or 400 packs of seeds at home.
Oh my.
It's a problem. I got a problem. I do. I know there's help for it, right?
You got these at home?
Hmm?
You got these from Home Depot, or you had these at home?
At home. I can't go in a store that's got seeds and not pick them up. And then I order online too.
How long do they last?
Most seeds will last you. I got seeds that's 25 years old that I planted, and they came up.
Oh.
Not onion, not carrots, but all of this kind of stuff, they'll last for many years. So I'm going to smooth the soil out just a little bit. Once I get Hannah going here, Ty, I'll get you on the next project. So you'll spread it out, and I can't do it with my gloves on. You're going to drop 3 beans. I think we got room for 4. 4 beans.
In a row?
Yep, 4 fingers apart. One of the other things that we're going to do, ooh, my camera crooked. Somebody going to be like, you out there planting, but you don't know how to set a camera up? One of the other things that we're going to do is we are bringing in straw, and we're going to use straw to help mulch around our plants. It's going to help with a couple different things. One, it's going to help hold in moisture because we have no protection from the sun. And the second thing that it's going to do is going to kind of tamp out some of the weeds that might try to suffocate our plants. So to keep the weeds from growing so closely to where we are planting. And so we're going to lay about 1 inch or 2 of this straw into this space. And I just got this straw from the feed and seed store, and it's supposed to be 99% weed free. And I've used it for years. It's nothing special, but that's what we're going to put down. The garden, community garden did provide wood chips for us, but it's just from a chip drop. So we don't know if it had any type of, what do you call it? if it had been sprayed with anything. So since I don't know where the chips came from, we decided not to use the chips and we're going to use straw instead. I think this is the first plant, and so we're just going to
So that's what I'm doing.
right here, and then we'll do the same thing at that one and all the way down.
You know, they only $30
For the whole season.
Yeah. You know what I was telling Miss Kim is that once we learn and so like with all of our stuff in there, we can actually buy two. But we didn't necessarily know what we didn't know what we were doing, so we had to do one to figure
You
it
got to
out.
start off, right?
Yeah.
We lost the sunlight, but we got it all in. We got our rows in. We got potatoes, basils, collard, greens, okra, tomatoes, peppers. What did I forget? Squash, cabbage, and marigolds in the front. Look at our plot and look at these two amazing ladies right here. Look right here. Hey! The community garden is done. We have everything laid out, and that's the end of episode 1. Episode 2, I will bring you back and show you how everything's growing. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, telling your friends and family all about it, turning on notifications, as well as subscribing and liking. Until next time, and I hope there will be a next time that you hang out at Kim's Cozy Corner and the community garden. See you again real soon. Bye.